Week number 8, Dana White's Contender Series featherweight matchup here, folks. This is a good one. I can't believe we're flying through the Contender Series like we are. We've only got a handful of shows left. We've got this one and then 2 more. That's it. We're almost done with the Contender Series, which is a shame. It's a bit of a grind, but I enjoy the grind. I enjoy this process. It's a lot more. It's a lot more tape study than it is for a UFC card, even though it's okay. Maybe not more. It's a lot more difficult tape study than it is for a UFC card typically, because a lot of times you have to really dig to find some of these fights, and so it does take a lot of time. But I do enjoy it, and I enjoy the interaction with the fans, and I enjoy the Contender Series. So this is fun. But here we are, week 8. We've got a matchup at featherweight. We have Carlos Calderon taking on Alberto Montes. Now, both of these guys are pretty much jiu-jitsu guys. That's what they want to do. They want to grapple with you. They want to use their jiu-jitsu. So that's gonna be fun. For Calderon, 3-2 in his last 5, 6-2 overall. We're looking at 9-1 on the record for Montes, 4-1 in the last 5. Now, like I said, both these guys are pretty much jiu-jitsu guys, but we're going to cover the striking as well. And let's start with Calderon. He's a decent striker with pretty good power. He's a bit wild and reckless on the feet because of the grappling threat, and he doesn't care if he ends up on the bottom. So he comes in basically throwing power shots and swinging wild and doesn't care if you take him down. Let's put it that way. I should have put a negative for takedown defense here, but I don't really know if it can be counted as a negative if he wants you to take him down. He wants to grapple. He's good there. He's very active from his back. He attacks submissions, and he chains these submission attempts together. The problem is he doesn't have any top control because he's always going submission over position, which that in itself isn't bad. It's just the fact that he ends up on the bottom all the time, or most of the time. And from the bottom, he throws a lot of elbows. He can do it from the top too, but he throws a lot of elbows off the bottom, which we've seen him cut opponents with in the past. So I do like that. He does have decent takedowns, but usually what happens is he ends up on his back even, somehow off of the takedown. I don't like that he's always fighting from his back. I do like that he's extremely good at fighting from his back, but I don't like that for him winning fights consistently, because when you're fighting off your back, unless you get the finish, it's really tough for the judges to see you as the one winning the fight, regardless of what you're doing. It happens sometimes. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen as often. Even if you are the more active fighter from your back, a lot of times the judges still give it to the guy on top. That's something to take into account when you're looking at Carlos Calderon. When I look at the other side for Alberto Montes, he's a decent striker. He can fight out of either stance. He's got good movement. He's got really good kicks to all levels, but he just doesn't really punch. It's weird. He'll throw them some. I'm not saying he never punches. I'm just saying he pretty much kicks most of the time, and then we'll occasionally put a punch in there. So that's interesting. Both guys are about equal in skill and striking, if you ask me. And in grappling, they're both very similar as well as far as skill goes. It's going to come down to something not based entirely on skill for my pick here. So we'll get to that in a moment. Just kind of foreshadowing. Good grappling, though. His open mat takedowns are, but I don't think he's going to have to worry about that here. Calderon wants to fight on the mat too, and he doesn't care if he's on top or bottom. For Montes, it's the front chokes. He can snatch them up from anywhere. Standing on the ground does not matter. They shoot in for a takedown on him. He has a very, very quick front choke series. The Anaconda is very, very much his move, right? He'll get that locked in and just kind of roll through with it and then start going. And it's brutal. But yeah, he's very quick to attack those. And like I said, he can snatch them up from anywhere. Standing on the mat, they shoot a takedown. Like, I've seen him come in and just grab somebody and just put him in an Anaconda standing. And that's cool. Honestly, the decision for who I think is going to win this fight is going to come down to the fact that I think Calderon's going to be willing to accept bottom position, and I think we're going to get Montes winning simply because he's on top. The skill's close. I wouldn't recommend betting this fight. I want to say maybe an over, especially if they give us a 1.5, but for the simple fact that I do think both guys are skilled enough on the ground to keep the fight going and defend each other's submission attempts and all that good stuff. But I think Montes just being on top is going to get him the win. So we're going to take Alberto Montes mostly because of that. But it's a good fight, competitive fight between a couple of grapplers, mostly that want to use their jiu-jitsu, and that's what they've used for success as of late. But let me know what you guys think. I do appreciate you tuning in. Hit that like button down there for me while you're dropping your comment on who you are predicting to win this fight. And if you haven't done it already, be sure to check out the rest of the videos in the playlist, because there are all 5 of these matchups in a playlist, and you can watch all 5 of them, and it won't take you all that long because, well, we keep it short. We keep it nice and easy, digestible bites. So I'll see you guys there. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next one.